Hey guys, let's get more news about Lakers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Center Lakers should have traded for continues to thrive with rival team prior to the 2025 NBA trade deadline. The Los Angeles Lakers spent the entire offseason, preseason, and regular season searching for an upgrade at center. It was the most well-documented weakness on the roster, with former franchise player Anthony Davis requesting help both publicly and privately. Unfortunately, the player that LeBron James himself asked the Lakers to sign in free agency not only eluded Los Angeles during the offseason, but at the trade deadline, as well, Jonas Valanciunas. Valanciunas, 32, is one of the most productive centers south of the All-Star line. He's a walking double-double with an elite arsenal of post moves and underrated value as a playmaker. For 13 seasons, that skill set has enabled him to create offense in the blink of an eye. Unfortunately, after the Lakers failed to sign or trade for Valanciunas, the rival Sacramento Kings cashed in on the opportunity to bring him aboard. Los Angeles was briefly vindicated by trading for Mark Williams, but the deal fell through at the 25th hour. Perhaps that saves the Lakers from criticism, but it's worth noting that the front office knew how badly they needed to improve the depth at center for months before the deadline. The Lakers are doing just fine without him, but one can't help but watch Valanciunas thrive with the Kings and wonder what could have been. Jonas Valanciunas stuffing the stat sheet in Sacramento. Valanciunas has appeared in 13 games with the Kings, averaging 10.2 points, 8.2 rebounds, 2.6 offensive boards, 2.5 assists, 0.9 steals, and 0.8 blocks in just 20.6 minutes per game. That translates to 17.9 points, 14.2 rebounds, 4.6 offensive boards, 4.4 assists, 1.6 steals, and 1.5 blocks per 36 minutes. For what it's worth, on a per 36 basis, Valanciunas would rank number 4 on the Lakers in points, assists, and steals, number 1 in rebounds and offensive boards, and number 2 in blocks. The salt in the wound is that Valanciunas has progressively elevated his game since arriving in Sacramento. For instance, since February 24, he's recorded averages of 13.3 points, 11.4 rebounds, 3.0 offensive boards, 3.7 assists, 1.4 steals, and 1.1 blocks per game. During that time, the Kings have gone 5-2, and Valanciunas has recorded at least 12 rebounds and 6 assists in each of the past 3 games. Perhaps he wouldn't have fit as well in Los Angeles as some believed. Adding Luka Doncic was an admittedly massive undertaking for a roster that had grown accustomed to playing through an All-NBA center and now had to adapt to a perimeter-oriented approach. One simply can't help but feel as though Valanciunas' rebounding, passing, and scoring would have made him the perfect complement to defensive-minded Big Jackson Hayes at center. The Lakers are winning at a league-leading level since January 15, but they still rank dead last in the NBA in bench points per game. They're also number 20 in second chance points allowed and number 26 in second chance points scored, both of which are areas in which Valanciunas could have assisted. Instead, Los Angeles must prepare for the closing stretch of the 2024-25 regular season without a player who's giving a division rival exactly what they need. Doncic struggles, Lakers lose again. The Lakers couldn't get it done Monday night in Brooklyn, falling 111-108 to a Nets team in 12th place in the Eastern Conference. Even with Luka Doncic posting another triple-double, the short-handed Lakers didn't have enough firepower without LeBron James, who sat out with his groin strain. Doncic put up some nice-looking numbers, 22 points, 12 rebounds, and 12 assists, marking his second triple-double since joining the Lakers. But those stats didn't translate to a win, as LA dropped to 40-23 on the season. Doncic had 5 turnovers and struggled against Brooklyn's pressure defense. Doncic under fire. The criticism of Doncic by fans has been growing louder, and Monday's performance won't silence it. He shot a rough 8-for-26 from the field and an even worse 3 of 10 from downtown against the Nets. Doncic is shooting just 39.9% since joining the Lakers, including 32.2% on his three-point attempts. That isn't what fans expected following the blockbuster trade. Doncic's poor shooting wasn't helped by his inability to get to the foul line. He only attempted 4 free throws, and complained to the referees throughout the game. That led to his 4th technical since coming to LA. Doncic notably drew the ire of ESPN's Brian Windhorst for his constant complaints during last season's NBA Finals. "It wasn't fair. But we still got to play the game," Doncic said. "I got to keep playing the game. But it was a lot. No shortcuts to success." Lakers head coach J.J. Redick didn't pull any punches when assessing his team's effort. "I don't think being shorthanded is an excuse for how we played basketball tonight," Redick said. "I think it was just an overall mentality to take shortcuts tonight. We just wanted to take shortcuts." The Lakers were outscored 32-19 in the second quarter as they blew an early 15-point lead. The Nets dominated Los Angeles on the offensive glass 16-8 and forced the Lakers into 15 turnovers, leading to 19 Brooklyn points. "Should have made better decisions on that one," Doncic said. "I started the game doing a really good job with the decisions and then just kind of got out of it." Injury concerns mounting as playoff race tightens. Though Redick wouldn't use the Lakers' injuries as an excuse, the Lakers are without a lot of key contributors. Los Angeles could be without its starting front court for a while as James recovers, along with center Jackson Hayes, knee, forward Rui Hachimura, knee, and backup Dorian Finney-Smith, ankle. That puts tremendous pressure on the team's perimeter players to step up in their absence. For the most part, they were able to do that against the Nets. Gabe Vincent scored 24 points, his most as a Laker, on 8-for-12 shooting. Rookie Dalton Knecht added 19 and two-way call-up Jordan Goodwin came off the bench to score 17 with a career-best 5 three-pointers to go along with 8 rebounds. However, the loss dropped the Lakers into a tie with Memphis in the Western Conference standings, with both teams just one game ahead of the 5th-place Houston Rockets. Los Angeles remains on the road with a difficult back-to-back against the Milwaukee Bucks and Denver Nuggets on Thursday and Friday before facing the Phoenix Suns in a Sunday matinee. As far as Redick is concerned, this is the price winners have to pay. Want to be a good team? You want to win in the NBA? You got to do the hard stuff, Redick continued. We couldn't even pass to each other. I don't know what we're doing. LeBron James' groin strain injury, explained late in Saturday's contest against the Celtics. Lakers superstar LeBron James checked himself out of the game in the midst of a furious rally that ultimately came up short while grabbing at the inner thigh of his left leg. On the sidelines, he went through a few different squat variations to test if he could play and then, after going to the locker room, had further tests done by his longtime trusted trainer Mike Mancias. Ultimately, James was ruled out for the rest of the game. After the game, LeBron said the injury occurred in the fourth quarter when he drove on Jaylen Brown, pivoted multiple times off pump fakes and finished off left hand off glass. The injury was initially described as a groin strain and LeBron has been ruled out for Monday's matchup versus the Brooklyn Nets. Currently, the reported expectation is for him to miss 1 to 2 weeks of action. Let's take a closer look at the injury. Firstly, a groin strain is the typical colloquialism for injury to an adductor muscle which consists of a group of muscles. The adductor longus is the most commonly injured of the group. It's a muscle group that is used in the majority of basketball activities, including running, jumping, cutting, moving side to side and pivoting. Based on there being nothing overt that caused the injury, meaning a clear movement or slip, I initially believed this was a minor injury. James further reinforced that in his post-game comments where he said it wasn't of major concern and he would take it day by day and follow the protocol laid out by Mancias. LeBron being ruled out for 1 to 2 weeks would align with a grade 1 mild strain. This is an area that James has dealt with multiple times during his Lakers tenure. He first injured it against the Golden State Warriors on Christmas Day 2018 and missed the next 6 weeks. With that injury, LeBron said he heard an audible pop and Charania further reported that wasn't the case this time. More recently, LeBron dealt with it in 2022 when he felt it during a Clippers game. He ended up missing 5 games at that time but was able to come back very effectively. This example is a much closer reference point than the incident in 2018. All in all, James seemed to have avoided serious injury, but it's also not surprising for this to occur. He's been playing at an MVP level over the past nearly 2 months, is part of the group making up for the loss of Anthony Davis defensively, and more recently has had to make up for injuries to key guys like Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura. There's been very high exertion and demand on the body, which can lead to overload. No athlete understands his or her body better than LeBron James, and he will do everything it takes to get back from this as quickly as he can without endangering the rest of the season. In the meantime, it's next man up for the rest of the roster and collectively picking up the load for their superstar. Coach J.J. Redick and staff will have the team prepared to do just that. Dr. Rajpal Brar, DPT, has a doctorate in physical therapy from Northern Arizona University, and runs his own in-person and online sports medicine and performance business, 3CB Performance, in West LA and Valencia, California, and combines his movement expertise and fitness training background to rehab and train elite athletes. He also works at a hospital, giving him experience with patients in the immediate healthcare setting and neurological patients, post-stroke, post-brain injury, and has been practicing for over 5 years. Brar is additionally training at UCLA's Mindful Awareness Research Center, MARC, has a background in youth basketball coaching and analyzes the Lakers from a medical and skills perspective for Silver Screen and Roll and on his own YouTube channel. You can follow him on Twitter at 3CB Performance, on Instagram, and on his weekly Substack 3CB Quick Hits. Are you a fan? What do you think about LeBron James' injury? Leave your opinion in the comments.